We continue our look at strange horror games this month with an adventure game called Harvester. The game boasts that it is the most violent adventure game of all time. Look at those old graphics. Our story opens with a man in his bedroom, and immediately I see the terror of FMV. Ooh, I hope we can expect some cheesy acting. Well, this is an adventure game, so I should probably go search everything, because it'll probably save me from death later. Well, we can punch stuff? That's not something I see in point and clicks. I also have a health indicator. Before I leave the safety of my room, I should probably save first. That's the most sinister save screen I've ever seen. Nothing to get worried over. Let's go downstairs.
What?
Wait, do I have amnesia?
A lousy rat.
Man, this kid is a
You better
jerk.
be quiet, or
Forget you loser.
Say what?
So we talk to this rather annoying lady and find out our name is Steve, and that the people in the house are our family.
Way to talk to. How about some cookies? There's plenty of rejects in the trash. No one's going to pay to eat stale cookies out of the garbage can.
But you expect me to?
Of course not, Steve. I wouldn't charge you. I'm your mother. Help yourself.
Something seems wrong here. Leave the house and we can see the town map. General store, post office, barbershop, and missile base? Well, I know I'll sleep soundly tonight knowing I live near a missile base. So yeah, let's go there.
Keep your distance, son. I wouldn't want to have to blow your head off.
That makes two of us.
I don't know if I want to ask any of these questions.
Can you give me any reason why I
Not really.
I appreciate your honesty.
Well, that's good. Oh. Whoa. How's that for a first death scene? Also, good thing I saved. Yeah, let's not go there anymore. I run around the town and find a variety of strange townsfolk.
There he is, my future son-in-law.
Apparently I'm also getting married. Also, this guy really loves meat.
My meat! My meat!
If you couldn't tell. Old Mr. Potsdam says how he wants to join the town's lodge. From what we hear, they seem to run this place called Harvest. We should have a chat with our fiancée, Stephanie. But first, let me raid the medicine cabinet. It could come in handy. We meet Stephanie, and she seems to have lost her memory too. With our new ally, we make the plan to try and join the lodge to get out of town. But first, we need to find an application. I explore Harvest and meet its occupants. You've got a weird principal guy obsessed with
Quality time. Quality time.
Quality time.
You've got your lazy sheriff,
You've been watching too much TV, Steve.
and the Steiner lady who talks about weird stuff. And everyone seems to want me to join the lodge, but whenever I tell them about my memory, they all seem to say the same thing.
You've always been a kidder, Steve.
Oh, you always were a kidder, Steve.
You always were such a kidder, Steve.
Sorry, youngster, we're out of applications right now. Sorry, you'll just have to come back in a month, same as anyone else. And even then, I can't guarantee you'll get an application.
Jerk. Oh well, nothing a little bit of blackmail won't handle. Let's go to the lodge now, and wow. Yeah, nothing going on here. This place looks completely legitimate. We hand the application to this guy called the Sergeant-at-Arms and go home for the night.
You need a rest. Report back here for your next assignment.
We get a silly FMV, and oh dear. Is this supposed to be a little something for the ladies here? By the way, this same FMV plays at the end of each day. The next day, we give this kid a pair of sneakers, and he tips us off we can find the principal smooching in the school closet. Because I want to see that. Before we do this, I should probably take precautions and save.
Are you blackmailing us, you little
Yes, apparently it's Steve's hidden talent.
Take this baseball bat.
Sweet, a possible weapon. If this game really does have combat, this'll come in handy. The game is your basic point and click so far. You pick up tons of items, and combine a few of them to solve some convoluted puzzles. Your inventory very quickly gets filled up, and when an item becomes useless, it usually stays there. We meet back up with the sergeant and hear what type of horrible deed it takes to join the lodge.
What kind of tasks?
Minor pranks, really.
Like scratching somebody's car. Okay, seems easy enough.
I might as well talk to you.
See ya.
Bye now.
Why can't I break it? Wait, maybe if I use the key to scratch it...
Sheriff!
Oh dear, combat! I don't have my bat equipped. Punch him! Wow, he's tough. I'll have to change the plan of attack. We sneak in at night and scratch the car, and the sergeant gives us a pat on the back. We take a walk past the cemetery and see...
I'm burying Arquette. She passed away and I'm burying her. Go away and mind your own business.
Nothing suspicious here. The next day you go and hear the diner lady's daughter is missing. Run over to that hole, and hey, there she is. Something mighty fishy is going on around here. The sergeant gives us more tasks that just kind of boil down to minor thievery. Get caught, and this'll happen. I'm dead inside now. But things get serious once we find that the barber was electrocuted after we left some live wires around when we stole his barber pole thing. And if that wasn't bad enough, your next task is to torch the entire diner. Well, I'll do it after everybody's left. Boy, Steve sure is getting adept at breaking into places. Yeah. No, Steve, this is bad. We're only doing this to escape with Stephanie. Also, we're not telling her we did this. She got angry when we scratched a car. Get back home, silly FMV, the usual stuff. Well, guess I should check to see what the damage is. We go in and find... a suicide note? Turns out the diner woman killed herself, and her daughter... hello game? Where did this come from? One moment you're all... my meat! And then you drop this on us? And when you go back to the sergeant, he's all...
It's cool, bro. It's not like you did it.
But the game is obviously trying to guilt trip me over this, but there's no way around it. I've read the walkthrough. When you get back and talk to Stephanie, she attempts to hammer in the guilt. And then... oh, no thanks. You're a nice lady, but I'm sure the game is going to kill me if I do that. I return to the sergeant and he tells me I'll soon be able to join their super secret special club of jerks after I get my invitation. Yippee. I return to tell Stephanie, but something seems wrong.
You can't go into Stephanie's room till the sheriff gets here.
We enter the room to find... a CG spine! Despite the blood on that thing, it's surprisingly clean. What say you, Sheriff?
No, all in all, I'd say this was death by natural causes.
Natural causes?
You can't live without a spinal cord, son. Nothing unnatural about that. Think I will have some more pie.
Now I actually found this scene pretty funny, which makes the previous FMV all the more head-scratching. We find out that the spine is the invitation and break into the Potsdam family crypt to get it. Whoa, what the heck is that thing? That happened. Grab the spine and give it to the sergeant. He gives us the dumbest dagger in the world and tells us we can find out what really happened to Stephanie by entering the lodge.
Now, let the initiation begin.
Who's this guy? Well, I'm getting out of here. Uh-oh. So yeah, this is basically where the game goes nuts. Previously, the game was a bit of a dark comedy set in a strange 50s town. It had the normal adventure game formula, but now I'm running through visceral hallways fighting strange creatures. And now we're in a normal-looking place? Okay, it's not that normal, I guess. Oh, it's a cannibal chef guy.
Sorry. You'd need to talk to the membership director up on 2.
Can you tell me anything that might help me?
Not really.
Thank you, you really were useless. Whoa, what was he made out of? Cardboard and entrails? Well, this is getting pretty weird. I need a drink. Hold on, what's that? Better change weapons. Oh, Steve, you don't look too good. Well, time to start saving after every room. And this is kinda how the rest of the game goes. You still walk around and do some puzzles, but now you start running into random monsters. And I mean random. Alien monsters. And then you walk into a room and... super loud skeleton that bleeds because... And now we're fighting a Baron of Hell from Doom. That's nice. So because most of this part of the game is nonsense, let's check out some of my favorite moments. Alright, let's go past these bubbles. Huh. Ooh, look, a giant plant. I probably should have expected that. Okay, we're at the second floor now. Things don't look too bad.
Any initiate who wishes to pass this way must do so over my dead body. Do you know how to play chess?
Sure, let's play some
In that
chess.
case, make me and you may pass.
Let's go here.
Chess is a civilized game. How sad that we must now resort to a less civilized form of conflict.
Huh? Whoa. Kill it. Huh? I don't know what connects these events. Chess, then X. Moving on. Let's see what's behind this door. Okay, I'm getting out of here. Bit of a delayed reaction there, Steve. So on the second floor, I actually found less people who wanted to kill me. This librarian, this art gallery guy, and this janitor who's in a room with music that sounds magical for some reason. However, you can kill just about anyone in the lodge. I usually left people alone unless they tried to kill me. Although, a lot of these people are useless. Like the librarian, I went out of my way to find a book for her, and all she did was tell me that the chest master had a key. And this was after he killed himself and I took his key. I continue and find such things as a washing machine room, a killer clown, because killer clown equals horror, and this annoying boiler room puzzle. You have to remove the broken pipe here, but it looks like all the other pipes, so it's hard to tell it from the background. Also wanna know what's a good idea? Putting wooden boards over lava. We eventually find a helpful lodge member who tells us we can find Stephanie on the third floor. Climb a rope and we're there. So the third floor is strange, as there aren't any puzzles. You'll walk into a room, someone will ask you questions, and then they'll try and kill you. So I hope you saved up what little ammo and health you found. Sure, if you just spam the attack button, you'll usually win, but a lot of enemies will usually get a few hits off on you. Yeah, combat in this game is kinda terrible. Going through this gauntlet, we find a fat guy eating burgers, some killer children, which you have to kill because look how much damage they got off, and a preacher guy who will ask you nonsensical trivia.
Now, I ask thee one final question, which is only known to those amongst the ranks of the saved. Is God a jar of strawberry preserves, a size 12 sneaker, a foot-long hoagie, an all-expense-paid trip to Brazil, or a new car?
Also, the chainsaw surprisingly sucks. Also, Mr. Potsdam shows up and he's evil. But most important, he has no shirt. There should be a rule in this game that shirts are mandatory. Poke him and a few other people with a stick and keep going. Alright, we're in the TV room now. What? How was I supposed to react to that? Guy moved at like the speed of sound. Okay, got him. Now for the robot. So yeah, this fight is nonsense. I see why most adventure games don't have combat. Also, this aiming doesn't help. And fun fact, I tried to use cheats to make myself invincible, but not even those worked, so yeah. Finally, let's go.
Welcome to the inner sanctum, big guy.
Principal Harold?
If I'd known it was you, I wouldn't have blackmailed you. Okay, no, I still would have. So he says a bunch of nonsense.
Second in command to the Grand Muckety Muck.
And then,
You'll have to kill me to find out what he means.
Who's this guy? Why does he know magic? This final boss really sucks. I mean, I've had more intense final encounters in clicker games. I managed to kill him and we get to the next room. We see the sergeant behind the door. He has Stephanie trapped, and she's in her underwear because shut up. We confront him and learn the truth.
Virtual reality.
Yep, VR, baby. Sergeant offers us the option to leave the simulation and become a harvester.
The technical term is serial killer.
AKA a serial killer. If we stay in the VR world with Stephanie, our real bodies will die, but we'll live full lives in Harvest. And if we really want to join the Harvesters, we have to kill Stephanie first. Oh man, I haven't been this torn between a choice since Far Cry 3's ending. The choice is pretty obvious. Steve and Stephanie get married and, oh, glad the sergeant attended the wedding.
By the virtual power invested in me.
They live their lives, and the sheriff tucked them in every night.
What a waste. This kid could have been something. Never looked back. We got 2 more to plug in. There's gotta be a better way to develop these serial killers. This is scientific. You want we should go back to the old way? What old way? Good breeding.
So the sergeant mentions that the simulation was to desensitize Steve to violence and make him into a serial killer. What did I do to prepare me for that? I just blackmailed people and broke into buildings. Okay, I'm starting to see it a bit. The 3rd floor on the lodge also tries to spout some philosophical nonsense, and it could be that is the Harvesters trying to convince Steve killing people is okay. Then there are those words we hear so often. What if you replace kidder with killer? Everyone is trying to convince Steve he was meant to be a murderer. It's all a bit of a stretch, but it's interesting. So why would anyone want to make serial killers? For science? Well, I've heard that the creator of Harvester made the game as a reaction to the whole video games promote violence. They went out of their way to make it as violent as possible and said, hey, it makes serial killers. Now, when I fought this stupid enemy, I didn't want to murder anyone, but I did want to throw the game out the window. But I bought the game digitally, so I'm out of luck there. I've got to admit, Harvester didn't quite gel with me. The first part was interesting and quite ridiculous at times, but the second part was a lot more humorless and seemed less focused. And it relied on combat, so yeah. But it was so random that it kept me going. There's also a lot of things I missed on my first playthrough, so there's a bit of replayability there. I don't know if I'd recommend this game, as it takes a very specific taste. If you saw this and are really curious, you can pick it up on Steam. Personally, I'd recommend a few other games. I found Darkseid 1 and 2 to be a lot more interesting to watch, as they had more interesting surreal imagery. And if you want to play or see a genuinely good horror adventure game, give Frambow a look. I will admit there were a few intriguing things in today's game, but I don't think I'll ever return to the quiet town of Harvest.